Gentlemen, let me set the stage with the simplest, most dangerous truth in the sexual marketplace. And that is that a woman will sleep with one man for his genes and marry another for his resources. This is not cynicism. This is not misogyny. This is evolution. And unless you understand this dual mating strategy, unless you can spot it, outmaneuver it, and build yourself into a man who collapses the system, you will fall into the same trap that billions of men throughout history have. They have raised another man's kid. They are funding another man's imprint. And they are dreaming of a woman who dreams of someone else. Welcome to Strategic Pluralism 101, the masterclass that every man needs to take before he invests his money, his soul, or his future into a woman who may only see him as a provisionary asset. So let's break it down. We want to define strategic pluralism, the biology behind hypergamy. In evolutionary biology, strategic pluralism theory says that women are biologically predisposed to pursue two different types of men based on timing, context, and reproductive value. And they will look for the alpha seed and the beta need. What is the alpha seed? Men with strong genetic markers deliver the alpha seed. These strong genetic markers include testosterone, symmetry, height, dominance, social proof, emotional unavailability. These men make a woman's body say, I want his child. And this is why we tell you guys, you need to learn to become an alpha. Those are the alpha characteristics. And women also have a beta need. They want men who have stability, men who have resources, men who have long-term provisioning capability, men who are loyal, men who can provide emotional labor, what we call parental investment. These are men that make a woman say, I want him to raise the child. He's a good man. This dual strategy for alpha seed and beta need is so powerful that it operates beneath conscious awareness. Sometimes even women don't know this. Many women don't. I have so many women who come to me and tell me they did not understand themselves until they read Unplugged 1. Just a short diversion. If you look at any women, any generation, many women, like 99% of women, they pass off their genes to the next generation. 99%. The percentage of men who pass their seeds to the next generation is around 40%. And this includes married men. Because there are so many married men who raise children who are not theirs. Because women are the gatekeepers to these genes being passed on. Women choose who they're willing to bear children for. So David Bass tells us in Evolution of Desire that women's attraction to different types of men literally shifts based on hormonal cycles. I've written about the ovulatory cycle in Unplugged 1, but I'll mention it here. So day 10 to 14 of her cycle, this is when she's ovulating. And that is when the woman craves for the alpha archetype. She wants a man who has a deep voice. Okay? Deep voice. She wants a man who has a deep voice, a strong jaw, reliable aggression. You need to look strong, not some very fat guy or some very skinny guy. Okay? She wants a man who can apply some force when she's ovulating. Okay? The bouncers, they'll tell you they smash these women left, right, and center. They want men who are confident. So confidence is important, and also sexual assertiveness. They don't want men who will make love to them. They want men who can fuck them. They don't want men who are so soft, who are not straightforward with them about wanting to sleep with them. Okay? Come straight. Just tell her, you're looking nice. I want to fuck you. Okay? When they're ovulating, women want that. Okay? But also, it depends on what kind of a man you are. If you are a guy who they don't consider an alpha, they'll find you are creepy. Okay? So you must also be able to calibrate yourself. You can't be delusional. But confidence normally goes a long way. We normally say that rejection is better than regret. The what she can do is to tell you no. So from day 0, okay, day 0 is normally there when she's menstruating. So from 10 to 14, she wants the alpha. From day 15 onward, she's going to shift towards the beta support. She wants a man who can give her safety, a man who can listen to her, a man who has empathy, a man who is stable, and a man who can give her long-term investment. This is the time she'll go to a guy who is fat, who has a nice banking job. A guy who is soft, who can listen to all our bullshit. We call it being an emotional tampon. So alpha fucks, beta bucks. So this is not just red pill commentary. This is a foundational logic of female mating strategy in both modern and ancestral life. So alpha versus beta. So it's not just personality. It's evolutionary programming. So people ask me, what is an alpha, what is a beta? Today I'm going to talk about what is an alpha. Gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it. When you subscribe, you'll always be notified when I drop new content. Also, when you like and share, you help this channel to grow, and more importantly, you help other men to discover the tools that they need to level up. So remember, when one man rises, we all rise. Now let's get back to the video. An alpha is normally strong, he is tall, dark, and handsome. It's what we call the Chad. He has a square jaw. Square jaws are a marker of high testosterone. Okay? You know, when your jaws are square, it also means you are lean. The fatter you are, the more your jaws will be more rounded. Okay? That means you have high levels of estrogen, not testosterone. So a square jaw is a marker of high testosterone. Same to beards. Having beards is also a sign of high testosterone. Then you have a V-taper. Okay? There's a ratio. I don't know whether it is 4 to 16. Your waist to chest ratio. That V-taper also gives alpha vibes. It shows optimized strength. It just shows you're fit. You can take up a load, and you can apply some force. The fourth thing about alphas is they have sexual charisma. Confidence without supplication. It means you don't beg these women. You tell her what you want. Akitaka aende. Okay? You don't supplicate to them. You don't tell her, oh, you're looking nice and so on. You mind your own business. And when you come to her, you're straightforward. That's what we call tall, dark, and handsome. And alphas also have rejection-proof behavior. They don't care about whether you reject them or whether you accept them. A beta will want to come very carefully. Okay, they'll approach as if they're approaching a bomb. An alpha does not care. So these alphas, they win genetic lotteries. They do not win approval contests. They'll sleep with the women. The women will tell you they don't like them, but they'll sleep with them. And they inspire what we call genuine burning desire, not polite gratitude. So here is a trade-off. Okay, no rose without thorns. The alphas are often emotionally detached. And they're detached because they have options. And also because they could be the dark triad type, Machiavellian, narcissists, sadists, and psychopaths. They also have freedom focus. They don't want to be committed to a woman. They'd rather be free agents. They also have low investment. They don't buy flowers. They don't treat a woman nicely, spend so much time with them. Okay? They spread their genes, not resources. So they love children here, there, and so on. Of course, that's not a good thing. But that's what an alpha does. Rollo Tomasi explains that alphas give women a powerful reproductive stimulus, but rarely a nurturing environment. They are the men who will make women's womb or ovaries twerk. But once they make them pregnant, they vamoose. They exhibit a feature we call offspring abandonment. What about betas? The betas are the ones that give us what we call the parental investment theory. Beta males are normally reliable men, very safe and very accessible. They're very predictable. You can rely on them. Beta males are also men who provide women emotional validation. They listen to them. When they're complaining about their bosses or their husbands, the beta males will listen to them. They have all the time in the world. They become like girlfriends to these women. They are good listeners. They are financial contributors. If she has a birthday, you send her money, even if you're not smashing her. But I hope you don't do that. That's a lot of stupidity. That she tell you, oh, my birthday is tomorrow. What are you getting me? Why would you buy anything for a birthday if you're not smashing her? Let her get a birthday gift from her boyfriend. So the kind of men who do that, she calls you in the middle of night telling you she has a flat tire and you wake up to go and fix her tire. They are phone a friend men who they call when they're upset or when their men frustrate them or their bosses frustrate them. So if you're a man that she keeps calling every time she has a problem, you're a beta male. So here is a trap. Beta males are often men who negotiate for sex. Okay? If you take a woman for more than 2 dates and you have not smashed, you're negotiating for sex. And if you want to know how bad it is, if a woman wants you to have more than 1 date, tell her you can have as many dates as she wants, but let her pay for the dates and see what happens. So beta males negotiate for sex. They attempt to trade emotional labor, and they also want to trade resources. They're the ones who give women money, buy them lavish gifts for their birthdays. And they also do chores for desire. Rollo reminds us in preventative medicine that you cannot negotiate genuine desire. And you also cannot buy compliance. Okay? Or rather, you can buy compliance, but never lust. You cannot buy lust from a woman. So, the other thing is that most women, they pursue alphas in their 20s. That is when they are at their peak sexual marketplace value. So as we call the party years or the whole face. And that is why I see so many men who, you marry a woman who got a child in campus. The guy who gave her that child is the alpha. And now you want to play the beta male by raising this child. Among primates, the gorillas, the chimpanzees, and so on, the women, or rather the females, they actually, when they are going through oestrus, they go to mate with the alphas. And then the lower ranking males, they raise these children. The alphas never raise the children. So it's a similar dynamic is happening. These women will get pregnant when they're young, and then when they are in their 30s, You are now a beta male who has a good job in the bank or a lawyer. She tells you, oh, this guy, he made me pregnant, then he left. And then you are there raising this child. You're being a beta male. Okay? So in their 20s, that's the time that women like parties, they like getaways, they like toxic relationships. They go with a bad boy in the campus, they brag big guys, the guy who party a lot. And that's when they go for the sex that they say they'll never forget. Wild sex. And then later on in their 30s, when they're post-war, after their careers, after the several heartbreaks, after children, that's when they flip the strategy. And they start saying things like, I just want a good man now. I'm tired of games. Can't men just step up? Where are all the good men? Where are the grown men at? At that time, other men have run through her. The alphas have made her pregnant. She has a child. If you step up, you're playing the beta male role. That's why I tell guys, it is important to understand what your biological imperative is. Your biological imperative as a man is to spread your seeds. That's why you're here. Your ancestors, they fought the colonialists. They sacrificed so much so that you can pass their genes. And now if you are here and you want to raise another man's child, imagine what your ancestors will be thinking or feeling. So in any case, when a woman has hit post-war, now she wants the beta backs to support the alpha genes that she locked in earlier. This is what we call retroactive cuckoldry. Cuckoldry is the act of having a woman cheat on you with another man. And most of the times, that act of cheating bears a child. Active cuckoldry is when you're in a relationship with her and she cheats. And retroactive is now when she got the alpha's seed before you. And now she wants a beta backs to help her raise the alpha's child. And that's why we have paternity fraud in the US and everywhere, even in Kenya. That's why I told you earlier, the statistics about men who pass on their genes. And that's why women celebrate stepdads. Remember the sisterhood. Anything that promotes hypergamy, all women will rally around it. They will tell you how much it's okay to be a stepfather and how so many of us were raised by stepfathers. But wait till this woman's brother is facing the prospect of marrying a single mother. That's when you'll see. And that is why women will tell you they need men to man up. That is just code for they want men to be beta males that they can use. Okay? To subsidize their past choices. They don't want to take responsibility. So gentlemen, you need to be aware of sexual hierarchies in men. Okay, I want to talk about this one briefly. For practical purposes, we only talk about alpha and betas, but there are sigmas, gammas, and so many, and so on and so forth. So here is a breakdown. I've already told you about the alphas. So strong jawline, symmetry, height, musculature. We normally tell guys that being fit is actually a cheat code in life. Just by being physically fit, you're going to get sex from women. That's why these gym trainers, they get a lot of sex from these women. If you're not fit, you have to spend money. She'll tell you, oh, I want to go to Dubai. You find a guy is spending 300,000 just to get pussy. So, back to alpha. Symmetry, height, musculature, dominant, decisive. He's a leader. He has high confidence. He looks at a woman in the eye, tells her what he wants. Doesn't care whether she rejects him or not. He does not chase validation. Does not tell women, oh, you're looking nice and so on. No. He acts on his purpose. He chases his purpose. He's dominant. He's admired by other men. And is desired by women. He's unapologetically self-directed and is outcome independent. Okay? He doesn't get depressed, doesn't get discouraged. If he's pursuing a course, he goes on. So, this is a man that she chases. She tries to qualify herself to him and she has sexual desire for. This is a man that she finds desirable. So she gets sex from desire. She gets wet for this guy. He doesn't need to engage in foreplay and so on. Again, having very long foreplay for a woman is a sign that she does not find you desirable, guys. These are things that our fathers didn't tell us and the society will not tell you. Anywhere you go, women will tell you, there's not something wrong with the men nowadays. He just wants to come and papa. A woman takes time to warm up and so on. That's bullshit. When a woman finds you desirable, she'll get wet for you very fast. The less desirable you are, the more you need to invest in foreplay to make her wet. So the alpha male is a man that a woman wants to have sex with. Okay? He's a fantasy archetype. She dreams about him, fantasizes over him, and she compares him with other men. So the alpha makes her wet. The beta makes her wait. The alpha is the embodiment of sexual power. Not necessarily wealth, but charisma, confidence, dominance, and desirability. Even if the alpha is broke, and we normally call him the guy in a grimy vest, even if the alpha is broke, he can still command sexual attention through sheer sexual value and masculine frame. What about the beta male? The beta male is the object of utility. He's the one who brings the beta bucks. He has average features, soft guy, unexceptional looks, he's average. He's passive, he's agreeable, he doesn't say no. He's approval seeking, he's afraid of upsetting the woman. He overinvests early, he takes her for an expensive date at Kempinski. He simps for affection. He's a provider. He's a candidate for friend zone. And he's a plan B man for fallback option. He defers to her emotions. Apologizes for masculinity. Okay? He is the man that she settles for when the alphas are not available. So he's a man that they frustrate until he says that happy wife, happy life. Any man who tells you happy wife, happy life is a failure, and he's a beta male. So beta males get access to sex through time, resources, and emotional labor. Through time basically means he pursues a woman for an extended period of time. Any woman that you pursue for long either views you as a beta male or she's already invested in someone else. Okay? If you spend a lot of resources on a woman, she views you as a beta male. Women, the more a woman finds you attractive, the cheaper she makes it for you to have sex with her. First date, second date. If it goes beyond third date, there's a problem. Or beyond second date, sorry. So the beta male is the man that a woman uses for comfort, stability, and provision, but not the man that she burns with desire for. He is the man who she marries, but not who she cheats with. David Baz explains that women have two mating imperatives. There is a short-term genetics, which is the alpha, and there is a long-term investment, which is the beta male. The beta male is the insurance policy. And so women evolved to use this dual mating strategy, what we call strategic pluralism. Hypergamy is dualistic, alpha male, beta male. So they want both. And the challenge for you as men is to embody both of these features at the same time. It is rare, but you have to master both. So women want a man they are proud of and a man they are aroused by. If those two men are the same, congratulations, you are among the 1%. And this is why women may sleep with the alpha in their fertile years, like 16 to 28, and then they marry the beta in their settling years, in their 30 plus years. And then they divorce the beta later if she regains sexual power. And that's how 80% of women chase 20% of men. And how beta males unknowingly raise alpha males' children. So if you're only alpha in looks and beta in mindset, you are a temporary thrill. Like gym instructors. I speak to many big gym instructors, by the way. They come to me with their nightmares. These women find you in the gym, you are doing a good job. She gets attracted to you because you're an contextual alpha. She tells you can even start a new gym. Why are you here? These people are underpaying you. A guy quits his job. They open a new gym. 2 years later, she's bossing you around. She's not paying you a salary. You have 2 kids. She tells you, get out of my house. So it happens a lot. So you need to understand that the attraction to the alpha is short term. So you're a temporary thrill. Don't get carried away. And that's why we say in the red pill that she's not yours. It's just your turn. If you're only beta in resources, but lack alpha traits, you're a backup plan. Most of the society teaches us to be beta males. You're told, get a good job, be a good person, go to church, be faithful, be a good parent, be a good father. Those are all beta male characteristics. And they bore women to death. So to win in the modern sexual marketplace, a man must combine aspects of both. Alpha traits, those ones are the ones that will make her want you. And beta traits, they help you to build stability and legacy. Women desire alphas, they find alphas desirable, but they find betas attractive. Know the difference. So sometimes people say that a sigma is a fully integrated man. He has both alpha and beta characteristics. So you need to become full stack men. So don't choose between alpha traits and beta traits. You just have to build both. You need to have a body like an athlete. Go to the gym, get fit. Don't have a pot belly. Don't be skinny. Don't look weak. You must look strong. Alphas are not weak men. They are men who can apply force. Okay? You need to have a mind like a strategist. Think long term, have perspicacity, have situational awareness. Usikue fala. Because being a fala, as in you cannot even know when someone is using you, also turns women off. Women hate men that they are smarter than and men that they can use. You also need to make money like a disruptor. You need to have that kind of money. You need to have a frame like a king. You need to have purpose. You need to have your kingdom. Never buy desire. Don't pay for pussy. Cause gifts or chose gifts, grand gestures. Those ones don't move the needle. Your presence does. Okay? Spending a lot of money on a birthday, that is not going to make you desirable. It may make you attractive, but not desirable. Also learn about ovulatory cycle. Learn about timing and context. If she's falling for you after she's 30 years with baggage, you have to be careful and you have to have your eyes open. You are not an opportunity. You are a legacy filter. Okay? If that is how she wants to use you as a stepfather. Don't accept being a plan B man. Never marry a woman whose last peak was in her 20s with another man. Remember, a woman's past is the best predictor of her future choices. Vet women thoroughly. Vet them for cooperation, not for potential. Any woman can become someone else. What matters is how she behaves with you now. So the final challenge for you guys: don't compete in a rigged game. Redesign your value. Reselect your terrain. And become the man who collapses the dual strategy and gets both. You get both a respect and a desire. So what do you think? Let me hear your experiences, your thoughts, and your perspective on this strategic pluralism. Let's get active in the comment section below. Get unplugged, and I'll see you on the next one.